So I'm a pretty optimistic person, but sometimes I get discouraged. Sometimes I just feel like, man, things are not going the way that I personally want to see them go, and sometimes I can just get a little disappointed and get down. And it happens to me a lot when I get fatigued, when I'm not getting as much sleep as I probably need, and I'm exerting more energy, and I can find myself slipping into a place of discouragement real easily. And I found that when I get into that place, it's real easy to dive into a deeper despair. But the scripture teaches us to rejoice with those who rejoice, to weep with those who weep. And so what I have to do is I have to be very intentional about inviting somebody into my discouragement and telling them how I feel. And what happens more than not is when I open up that way with someone, they go, "Man, I'm feeling the same way myself," and so we're experiencing that low point together, which in some crazy way, it just shifts things and brings comfort into our lives, and so we kind of encourage one another out of it by our mutual experience that we're having in that low point. And so that's a powerful thing. And so I think there are two choices when we're facing discouragement. And I think discouragement comes to all of us, no matter how great things may be going. There's always a time where I think that we go through things or phases of discouragement. I think our choice is to dive into a deeper place of despair or to dive deep into fellowship. And I think that's the key, is our tendency is to try to hold it together, let everybody know that we're okay because we don't want to burden anybody. But that's not the way we're designed to live. Like, that's not the makeup of the human soul. Like, the Lord wants us to dive in deeper into fellowship when we're in these places of discouragement, and that's the very thing that will lift us out of it. So I'm going to encourage you this week that if you find yourself in that place, don't retreat, don't turn inward, don't go to places where you're alone and you're feeling that aloneness by yourself. Invite somebody else into it, and you'll be amazed at how the Lord uses that fellowship that you dive into to turn the whole experience around and take that relationship deeper and lift you out of a really a dark place that you find yourself in. Don't be surprised if you're discouraged, but if you want to get out of that discouragement, don't be afraid to dive into fellowship over the discouragement with someone else. Or else you may find yourself getting into a place that I think, man, it could be real easy to slip into a state of depression. That if you get into that unhealthy behavior and you just stay there without inviting anybody else in, man, you can kind of lose yourself in that. And I've found myself there before where I'm so exhausted that man, I'm just down, and I recognize, man, I'm tired, and I need to surround myself with somebody else, get some other people around me. But I find myself in those moments that I've thought to myself, man, I could see how someone could slip into a depressed state real easily. So don't slip. Don't go down that slippery slope of keeping it all to yourself. Dive deep into fellowship, and I think you'll find that the Lord will lift you out of those dark places. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for listening, and I can't wait to share with you next time.